Hey everyone, one second. Okay, my mic's working. This took a little bit more setup than I would have liked, but next time around, I'm gonna make sure these ones are a little bit more relaxed and more just like laid back so that I can just get started immediately, because I realize that I have to jump through a little bit of a hoop. For these ones, I may or may not have my model on, who knows. There's a lot of noise in the morning, so usually I don't prefer streaming in the morning because then we have a lot of people like walking by, yelling outside the street and stuff. But put some music on, and we're gonna get started. Okay, so basically, let me see if I can find it. What I'm gonna be doing for a little bit. Let's see. Be one of the first things here. I'm gonna find something that I was doing. Basically, one of the things that we're gonna do, or well, I'm gonna do. You can follow along if you want on potato. Potato is barking outside my door. Well, anyways, what we're gonna do. Oh my god, so much noise. Basically, what we're gonna do for first is this is basically just I don't know how to quite explain it, but it's an exercise in just seeing values and shapes. So I'm gonna do that first, and then what I want to do is do a little bit of cubing, and then at the end I want to do some potential either portraits to practice the head, or maybe do some poses. I'll decide at that point, but I'm gonna try and do some real heads, not necessarily anime style, because I want to get that practice in. Just give me 1 second, let me drink my coffee. All right. Grab this. I'm gonna get some. Basically, these I did looking at objects around my desk, but for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna actually copy this over. One second. Sorry. I'm sorry. We don't have a doorbell. Okay, let me explain why I usually don't stream in the mornings. It's because usually that's why I'm going to try a more laid back approach to these. In the morning, we don't have a doorbell, right? Apparently everyone in this house is deaf. So my room is in the front. So anyone that's like knocking on like whatever, like I hear it, and then I have to physically get up from my seat and then yell at people to go pay attention to what's outside. Usually there's a lot of movement in the morning as well. As a bit of a hassle. Move this, so let's change canvas size. Grab some objects. Here's one. Let's see. And I should have these. How I like phrased it. Maybe shapes. Knew I should have saved it. I had these things that were for certain objects, but let's see if I find it in a different folder. Alright, well, never mind. I'm trying to see if I find 3D shapes. Remodel drawing reference, okay. No, but, oh god. Yep, I don't know. Oh, there we go. Basic objects. Basic. One that I had found, I don't know where it is, but it was like a huge collection. So here's what we're gonna do. Grab this. And then I'm just gonna pick one from there. Hey, hello, bonjour. Ça va? Well, it's not even that we can afford. Okay. Okay, allow me to explain. We have doorbells. Or we used to have, but we cut it out because we had some guy that would come in and, like, the thing is, it was a really loud doorbell and people would come in and then they would just ring it. And it was very loud. It put the dogs like to bark and whatever, like made everything like annoying. And then another thing would be that we would there was this guy that would come in every day and he would ring it constantly so that we would pay attention. And the guy's just asking for money. He just wants like money for his vices. So it's not like, so we just cut it out because it's like people were being like extremely annoying about it. And the worst part is that nobody would get up to pay attention to the door. Usually it was me. So I complained enough that it was just like, yeah, I'm all right. Just worked out, got my coffee, about to do some studies. So here's my square brush. So, all right, I'm gonna pick one object from this. Or I actually, I can pick everything here. Let's see. We're only doing 2 values here. We're doing white and pure black because the idea is just to look at the shapes that the also I should probably look into getting I need to see if I can get my my screen tablet, my like screen tablet to work, like, because I'm wondering if the issue, because I was getting false contact and I don't know if it's like a magnetic field issue. Like I tried it again and it wasn't working, but I also like my setup right now because I'm not shrimping when I draw, like I'm looking directly straight at the screen. So big. Again, the idea behind this is to get you to look at shapes, values, instead of like seeing lines where like, oh, I'm going to sketch it like this, you're looking at the overall picture. You're paying more attention at how light works. It just gets you to observe better, if I'm not mistaken. It's good practice, like it just gets my noggin going. Not in perfect perspective, so. Let's grab this guy. I've been trying to use this to learn more about the planes of the face, and that's extremely helpful. It still needs a lot of practice, but it gets you to see the face in a different way. Like you can point out, you know, this main shape here. There's a lot of videos I need to go over, but my main goal is like I spoke with someone and they were very insistent. Not necessarily insistent. They suggested that I practice head shapes more. Not because they're terrible, he just said that it would be a very good idea so that I don't limit myself too much. And they also said you should do more rendering study. Mostly because it does also help a lot, so that's another thing I'm going to tackle. Not today, particularly, just overall. Do you have a public? Yes, I do. I don't know if the bot's set up for it, but let me go ahead and get that for you. I have two, but I'm gonna go for the safe for work one for now. I'm not at the liberty to be sharing the main not safe for work one. That one's on my other profile, so you can go look for that one. It should be on my link tree for the Gaikiken one. Hey Norian. I need to do more painting as well. One of the things I want to try and do on stream is do like a landscape thing. Completely from my imagination. But I need to, I just need to do it and then see, okay, well, these are the things that I'm not doing right. I need to learn. Because I want to do drawings with more landscapes in them, or at least like something that is more character oriented, because I'm kind of past the stage of like, all right, I'm not really interested in doing pinups. Everybody's doing pinups. I need to do more character stuff. And that's another thing that I was being told. It's like, I think you are better when you're not doing pinups and you're doing more of like stuff that's like character oriented. Characters in context, thinking about how the character acts. Instead of like, okay, here's character in standard sexy pose, because then you'll try to show everything and try to focus on things, when if you're focused on having the character tell the narrative of the picture, it's much better. Plus my, I don't want to say my training, but before I started working on my game and stuff, I I was majorly a comic artist for bigger projects. So I'm a little bit more familiar with character stuff. Which I also want to see if I can make a one-shot this year. I'm going to do at least 2 comics this year. Maybe one of them could be like a one-shot. Well, it depends. I'm working with some of my friends to make that happen. But in general, when I was working with RPG Maker, it's not that it's hard or it's a lot of work. It genuinely is a lot of work. Well, it's not perfect, but it'll have to do. See if I can find a different object to look at. Scour the internet, find some objects. This one's interesting. This one's interesting because there's a lot of light. Like there's a harsh light reflecting on the object, so it's more about seeing the shadows rather than the light areas. But I like that. It's gonna get me to think. So I'm gonna do a big block here, and then we're gonna start. Ooh, okay. Let's see what my issue is here. Here. I'm using a blocky brush because I'm not worried about the thin lines. It's like, okay, it's just this hard block. Focus on like literally blocking the scene out. And don't worry about the finer details so much. This needs to be in perspective. So we have this here. To flip around too much, because otherwise I'm gonna set up. I need to practice using my arm program. And I think these would be better if I'm using a, like if I'm using a screen tablet. But, or like my sketchbook as well. That's another thing. I recently got a new sketchbook, and I'm trying to get into the habit that before I go to bed, I do like simple doodles. But they're mostly like practice stuff. But not so much that I'm like taking an extra hour to go to bed. It's more of just trying to do something that's simple. It's lets my mind put to use a little bit of what I've been learning. And they're not stuff that I would necessarily show people because it's not like terribly interesting stuff. But once it's full, maybe I could do a video showing it off. But again, it's not, I don't have a lot of things to show in it yet. I need to get into the habit of using it more. On perspective. There's a little bit of light that's bouncing here. So I want to take that into account. I'm going for two-tone still, but at the same time, I want to give the vague hint of shapes. So I'm making sure that that's somewhat noticeable. I played your game before you stopped developing it. Yeah, we're gonna work on it. We're working on it. We're making a new thing for it. The thing about that is that I'm still in the stages of like, I started working on 2D, right? But then I decided, I'm gonna try doing 2D sprites, but in a 3D map. And that's what's, that's gonna be the tough choice. But I'm thinking that, I'm thinking of a different approach to that in that regard. I've been mulling on it, but it's not. It's just that like when you add like a third dimension, even if it's like in a simple application, it is still a ton of legwork. So it's something. It's a choice that you have to think specifically in a proper manner. Yeah, I do like game development, but and what we're doing is we're taking an episodic approach, because that way I'm not trying to like throw everything all at once. But we have complete chapters that go out when they're done. And for people that support, they'll be like, you know, access to it or whatever. The idea is that I could potentially put out like the first chapter for free, or like the prologue for free for everyone to check it out. And then from thereafter, it's, you know, a paid support kind of thing until, you know, we run into early access or whatever. But again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to make sure that all of our systems are working, and I'm delivering something that's fun but quality. This is long. This is supposed to be longer. Perspective is a little bit more narrow. Do you plan on doing a Steam release? Yeah, I do want to do a Steam release. Though again, for Steam, I'm monitoring the situation right now because the thing is, I don't know how long adult games are accepted on Steam, right? But I also want to do a version that's not doesn't have the adult content. But at the same time, I want to take the Delta Rune approach with once a few chapters are done, that gets reads. The thing with Steam though is that the audience in general is a little bit more harsh. Not like in a bad way or whatever. It's like people are very they judge your game a little harder than they would on something like itch or on your own turf, like on a Patreon or something. And that's not my problem, really. It's just that the expectation is that you deliver something that's worth, their however much they're charging for. You're charging for. It's not a problem. And I do appreciate more direct feedback and the kind of feedback that a lot of the audience on Steam offers, but people tend to be more if you're gonna charge $10 for it, that better be a fucking game, right? And it used to be that with early access, people were very, very okay with it if it wasn't too expensive and you were constantly offering updates. But it's been taken advantage. So now, the people that want to actually use the early access for potentially I don't want to say good reasons, but to raise some funds and get more eyes on their project. If your game doesn't have enough content to warrant the amount of money that you're charging, because again, for early access, normally you're charging what it would be close to the full price of the project. Some games, for example, I think Idiotic Factor was cheaper, and it was then $2 to $3 more expensive upon release. But that game had a lot of content, and people were perfectly okay with it. So for direct event, you mean on what you're doing right now? No, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about early access games and reviews and stuff. Which, speaking of, people are tearing Highguard apart. And I haven't really seen much of the game. That's not the type of thing I would normally play. But it seems that people are a lot more harder on it because of the context around it, rather than if the game is genuinely good or not. Look, send your resume to Pocket Bear. What do you have to lose? Words they can say, it's just not answer, right? Or say, no, thank you, we move to a different candidate. It didn't really help that. Yeah, I think the problem is that Jeff, I don't even know what the story is. Because they, from what I understand, they didn't even have a trailer ready with gameplay. They just put something together. And I think Jeff is friends with, from what I'm reading, I'm not sure if this is real or not. Jeff is friends with the devs and stuff. And he just offered them that spot and they had to scramble to put something together, which is why the trailer is short compared to like some of the bigger titles that were announced. Yeah, to the stream. I bought, like, there was a game that I wanted to play that's been on early access for years. I think a decade at this point. But from what I've read, it's not even like, even if the updates come over time, it became not worth it apparently. Let me see if I can find more these. Oh. Hear that it's Shutterstock. Yeah, I mean, apply. こんにちは。お元気? I think I think my main issue with iGuard is that they use Titanfall as like a. I'm very skeptical of like any company that says from the team that did this. If it's not the same company or the same director or like literally the same people that were there, then or because the thing is, when they say, it's like when they say like made by the people, like a movie made by the people that worked on or did this or whatever, usually it also means like not necessarily the same director or the same person that did the effects or whatever. It's sometimes just meant like the guy that did the latex or whatever. It's like in those old B movies where at the video store, like, well, some of you might not even know what a video store is, but you would go and you would pick out a VHS and it said, oh, from the person from the people that worked at Star Wars or something. But then it happens to be just like the guy that was mixing the latex or whatever. It's like some intern that worked there is working in this movie, so they can use the hashtag, like the tag, well, not the hashtag, but they can use that thing of like, oh, this, you know, we legally can say from the people that worked or on Star Wars because people, because this guy did work on Star Wars. So sometimes when I see games that say from the people that brought you this, it's like it's either the marketing team or a producer or someone, but it's not literally the people that made that made the game. Okay, when someone works on something, the people that make it good isn't just one person. It's like a lightning in a bottle usually with video games. It's like one person is not the end all be all. You can have like a creative mind that is behind the games, but it's like saying, oh, Kojima is the reason why Metal Gear is good. It's like, no, Metal Gear is good because there were people that told Kojima no for ideas that might have not worked for the game. And you have like a bunch of writers and stuff. Yeah, sure, he's the head of it. He was the head of like the project or whatever. He's the lead, but it wasn't necessarily that the games were always good because he was there. It's usually like a team effort. But, you know, when they say from the people that worked on something, it usually just means someone in the team made this. We're not going to say who exactly. Because in that case, they would say, oh, from the director or from, you know, the producer or something like that. And producers aren't usually a good indication of, like, this is a good thing. Like, if you take Marvel, for example, Kevin Feige was the producer for most of the Marvel movies, but after Endgame, they're all shit, but he's still the producer, so that doesn't mean, like, they're gonna be good. But yeah, that was I remember, like, oh look, this person made this. And like as you get older, you start realizing, okay, well, it's a marketing tactic. It's not I've been part of teams where in marketing where we've been like, oh, you know, just throw that in there. It's like, oh, are they a part of it? No, but you know, this and that. Like, marketing will always use whatever gets your attention the most. Also, I've seen a lot of writers go, I have never read a comic in my life. That's... Allow me to play devil's advocate a little bit. Not that I want to defend people that have never read the source material. But the thing is, having reads like done or something doesn't always mean that it's, you know, you're going to be terrible at it. However, what comes with... even if you've never read a comic or something, if you're willing to go out of your way to learn about the source material, about the thing that you are going to work on, that's what you should be doing as a writer, right? You should be reading up, like, if you're gonna write, let's say, something like a fantasy novel, or you're gonna write like a game that is set in World War II or something like that. Generally speaking, you want to read up, right? You want to learn history, you want to make notes, you want to be like, oh, like, I want to take inspiration from this, I want to do this. A lot of these writers that say, oh, I have never read a comic in my life or whatever, they do it to gloat, and you know that they aren't interested in, like, not even the source material, just not learning. They're just like, I'm just going to take this character and do whatever I want with it. And that's where I specifically take issue with. Yeah. The thing is, these people like that, they just want that let's do something. Let's have this cube here. Really interesting thing here, and it's It's interesting, yeah. Sorry, was gone for a second. Went downstairs to get a rice bowl and the fume was leaking inside. So I kind of nudged Grandpa. But yeah, I do appreciate that from them. This is done. I'm gonna move on to doing shapes, actually. So I'm gonna take this. No, this is the mode. Okay. So if you want a good practice for learning how to do shapes or practicing stuff in perspective, what I'm about to do here is a good practice. Quick question, what's a good exercise for backgrounds? Well, I'm not very good at backgrounds personally, but I would suggest practicing perspective. Practice cubes in perspective, like, you know, like if you have like a 1-point perspective, you know, you want to be able to grab this, grab a cube. Just put it, be able to put it into perspective. Because if you're able to put geometric objects, like you could put, for example, like, let's say you have price line here, whatever. You could do like a rectangle for a character, you know, you put them there and they're in perspective. It can get more complicated, but I would practice just doing geometric shapes in perspective first. What I'm doing is conducive to that as well. So hold on, I'm gonna clear this because I'm not really happy with it. So. Because one thing that you need to understand, like, this is not 3D. This is not in perspective, right? this is in perspective, right? I mean, it's not accurate, but you generally want to understand how shapes happen in a 3D space. Right? That's something that I have to personally practice a lot, and I'm trying to, you know, get better at it. But let me show you what the exercise is in a second. So I'm not putting these boxes in actual perspective. I'm doing a terrible job. But I haven't drawn in a couple of days, so just realized the mistake. I really have my eyes open. Generally, when you do these, you want to make sure that you actually have the perspective right. You can use a grid. A grid actually helps. Let me go. A grid helps for practice, right? It lets you kind of see the stuff. So let's do it with a grid, actually, so you guys can actually learn with me. So let's say the box is this way, right? And then next one we do here, and then here. And then, so how many? 2 squares. Okay. Do that. That. Let's see, we have this one here. Okay. Usually for something that is in the front perspective, it's a lot easier, but it'll get more complicated as we move on. So let me show you. Wasn't bad. Yeah. 2. I mean, it's not a one-on-one rule, but it does help if you have a grid and you start understanding perspective. Yeah, no worries. I don't like licorice. Not, you know, not too much. Okay. Now we do this one like that. Licorice or whatever. Boxes. Perspective. I think that's right. It's to be like that. This. That. That's more like it. A little better than what I had before, so still gotta practice though. Okay, so now life's been all right. Decided to go to Japan in summer. I got a lot of stuff I want to get done. I have the good kind of stress. Motivated to keep improving my art this year. Just a lot of stuff. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn the grid off because I think it's fucking me up. But I suggest when you work with a grid, for example, let's say you have this. What you want is, let's say we have one square, right? So, and this is the middle. So you take the middle, and then for the side that's going to be smaller, you do that. And then you do this here. Make sure they're kind of like equal lengths. This is a bit smaller, but just keep in mind that when you can aid yourself by doing something like that. And then just take into account the spacing, right? So it feels in perspective. Obviously, there's a pretty good video that shows, let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Is it this one?
What's going on?
No, it's not this guy. View line exercise. I need to rewatch it. See if I can find it. Okay.
Drawing box rotations is hard, or not. Actually,
this video is 13 minutes, but here, let me share it with you guys. I recommend checking this video out. It's very, very good. I need to review this video. Like after the stream, I'm probably gonna review it and then make some notes. I have so I'm gonna review the my notes and stuff, because right now I'm just going off like, okay, it doesn't matter if I do it wrong or right. I need to just get the practice on. But if you want to learn more about perspective, about being able to draw anything, it's very good. That the video is to the point. He tells you how to do it right. If you can find a practice that someone did that's like completely accurate, download it, have it there, and then practice drawing over it. Okay, so I wanted to turn off the grid. We're going off grid, boys. So now here's how this exercise works. We did the easy part, which was it's all fun and games, but now, so we have this here. So basically, to grab the full line and then the short one, right? But now we have to put this in perspective, which means we have to do this. But because it's not, this is wrong, right? And you know why it's wrong? Because we're viewing it from a top-down angle, which means we have to do this, this, this. Now it's much better, right? However, it still needs correcting. Because this part is somewhat close, right? I mean, granted, I'm exaggerating a little bit. It's not too much. But there. So this is the good part of this exercise. It gets me thinking. Now, I did the cube a little too small. And I need to find... Let me see if I can find the study that I did. This is... Do I have... It's going to be back up. No. Wait a minute. Where are my notes? Oh, there we go. Wait, no. They have to be somewhere. I had my study. Oh, please don't tell me I lost all of that. Let me go to my artwork. Book. I can't find it. That's weird. I'll look for it later, but I did do this with like a specific reference. I'm gonna see if I can find it at some point. Now we have the equal side. Now, this one. Also, avoid chicken scratching. Be confident with your lines. Just do the one stroke. If it doesn't come out right, doesn't matter. Just do it. Isn't one of the most important things for an artist to learn is to get over the need to correct and erase your lines? Yeah, actually, let me get rid of my controller, because then it's just gonna... then you start thinking more of like, this isn't right. It needs work. Let me redo these. I need to practice these on my sketchbook. Mostly because on a tablet, it's fine. But I think I can learn a lot better if I'm like directly looking at what I'm doing. It's fine if stuff's not perfect when you're learning. That's the whole point. For me, the biggest learning curve is learning to be okay with making mistakes. And that's something that I have trouble with in art. Fix it. Last but not least. Okay, there we go. So honestly, lots wrong with it, but I need to practice this over and over and over. Like, I should be able to fill an entire page with it. I've done it like in reverse or whatever. There's no need to do it like, you know, do the opposite side. Like there's no need to, because if you can just do this over and over, like it's fine. You'll be able to do it, you know, if you were to do it this way. It's like you'll be able to do it in any way, shape, or form. So do it this way. Let me see if I can find the reference that I was talking about. I have to have it somewhere. I remember using it a lot. And this is good for drawing heads as well. That's another thing that I'm going to try and find. Okay. So I've done this, right? Previously. I think you guys seen it. I need to do it again. Here's a much more simpler version. I need to do it again as well. Let's see if I can... Okay. Let's see if this one is it. Yeah, I've done the one with the rotations. Let's see what else we got here. Yep. Okay, here we go. So this is one of the practices that I saw. So let's see if I can grab this one. Yeah, this is the way you're supposed to kind of do it. It's not too shabby, right? Let me grab mine over here and then make it smaller. Let's see how I did. So you see, there's a lot more work that needs to be put into it. Right? Needs more practice. Getting close though. But yeah, I'm gonna do one more thing, and it's just like I'm gonna sketch something. I'm gonna grab a portrait. Well, actually, I want to practice this, and then I'll do like a drawing. So let's see. Let's even go simpler than that. Let's put the cube into practice. We see the top of the head, but not by much. Something like that. I think I'm out of. I think I learned recently. No, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Yeah. The concave cheeks, it's just because of how the planes of the face work, but a different approach. I'm just gonna do the blocky thing again. Do the blocky thing again and just focus. I need to practice drawing. Sorry if it's not coming out right, but I'm gonna practice more. I'm gonna do just something from imagination. Boy, am I sucking today. gonna leave it there. All right, this was a good warm up. I'm sorry if it wasn't like I didn't do a lot, but for next time I'll try to be more prepared, at least for myself. I think the next one I want to do it on Thursday. I want to start with doing it at least twice a week. But I do want to get into the habit of practicing more every morning. Just because I actually really need it, and I'm crazy about improving. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a good experience. I'll try to be more insightful and learn on my own a little bit more. But yeah, again, sorry I didn't do a ton in the 2 hours that I've been doing this. I'm not necessarily concerned about speed, but more about like just being able to do more things. I'll try to figure out some better exercises for myself other than just the cube, and better head practices. But now I gotta go take a break and then come back and then start working on some commissions. At least sketch some of them out so I can start doing work now. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. I appreciate it. I'll try to do next one. If I don't do it, like, I'll try to do them daily, but I want to start in the habit of just doing them. So if I don't do it tomorrow, it's definitely going to happen on Thursday morning. So yeah, let me know if there's something you want me to try next time for warm up. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys next stream. Later.